Yes, we're live. All right.
What does it look like? It says we're offline over here.
Well, it's about 5-6 seconds behind.
Oh, there we go.
There we
okay.
are. See? Excellent. All right, we're live streaming. Hello and welcome to Soulmates.
We listened to a podcast that discussed a movie about a man and two robots watching another movie. A podcast that we made over 3 years ago. You know what that means.
Now it's time for
The Soulmates 200th episode live!
What's up, jerks?
So, yes, welcome to our 200th episode, our live extravaganza. And you will watch us figure shit out live that we should have already had done. So, we are your soulmates. Yes, silent viewer, the inner roster is working.
Hello.
And writing.
Hello, Kansas.
I am Joe Kimbrough, and I'm joined, as always, by my lovely wife, Dr. Devery Kimbrough.
Usually you add on like more adjectives. You've been okay. I'm just back to lovely. All right. I was powerful for a long time.
You were erudite.
I was erudite.
Sagacious.
I was sagacious one time.
One time.
Not anymore. Just
someone
lovely.
described the leading lady from the film as sultry.
I mean, I'm not feeling that tonight. So
And
I wouldn't want
we
you to
are
lie.
joined by a couple of just stand-up people because their chairs make them stand up sometimes. It's Jeff and Mimi Smith.
Yes, here in the land of potatoes.
And the role of Jeff tonight will be played by some fat bald guy.
Our regular Jeff couldn't be with us tonight.
A regular, incredibly handsome 6 foot tall Jeff.
6 foot tall bohunk with pectorals that will
It's
open
time.
up, snaffle off caps of any size jar.
It's time we told you the truth. This whole time, Jeff was really Army Hammer, and we had to fire him finally because we were going to be on camera, and we knew we weren't going to get away with it.
He
now
just wanted to eat some chicken.
Army Hammer. I was arm and hammer. I was a sentient box of detergent.
Fair.
And in honor of our 200th episode, I'm wearing my Dr. Forrester glasses. I don't know.
Very nice.
I don't know if they come
Very
across the
green.
camera. Very
Hello,
green.
chat.
They
The chat is mildly hopping.
So, we
People are watching?
Uh-oh.
there's a couple.
Somebody's gonna see my nipples.
We hope that you. We're glad that you joined us. We're excited for this. It's going to be a shit show, and you just need to be prepared for that. But the plan is that we're going to do our episode live, and I will upload it to YouTube in a week, and I will pull out the audio from it and make the put the podcast version up, and I will probably edit that some because I can't help myself.
We are having technical difficulties here.
Well, it's just going to have to be, baby.
Okay.
If you don't edit it, it will be 2 hours of me fidgeting.
Apologies to the chat. We just have a notification here in Twitch that it's live but unstable.
Well, I don't know if
Which-
that's ours or if it's...
Listen, it's accurate is the problem.
Very.
We are asking a lot from our little computer here, so just give it.
It's unstable.
These...
We have our potato, and it's filled with copper and aluminum electrodes, and we just don't know if it'll hold out.
It's not good times.
All right, so enough beating around the bush. We need to start talking about MST3K, the movie.
Yes. Again.
So,
I wondered why we need... I mean, I know I'm excited to do this, but it did hit me the other day when we were rewatching this, where we weren't even watching it, but we were just doing every riff right on beat. And then we tried to watch the original movie and just every riff right on beat, like a tick almost.
So our movie this time, jet-setting science man poses for the paparazzi. And just fair warning, Yes, this is the exact same synopsis that we did 3 years ago.
Why improve on perfection?
Exactly. I thought it was fucking awesome.
It's great.
I started
It's pretty good
Yeah,
synopsis.
I started to write a new synopsis, and then I listened to our episode. I'm like, done. No notes.
I tried to do the same for Splains, but he wouldn't let me.
That's right. Next, a catastrophe almost strikes when Science Man loses control of his plane, but something intervenes.
He got green.
Science Man and Weenie Man.
One time when I was a boy, I was riding my bike during a thunderstorm, and I hit a curb, and I flew off my bike, and I hit the ground, and I broke my thumb, and I skinned my knee really bad, and I never once turned green.
Didn't he know you're not supposed to fly green planes?
I do have to shout out here. Happy Scoops says deja vu, and Glitch42 responded with deja vu, deja vu.
Next, Science Man and Weenie Man reunite in the lab. They just love blowing stuff up for science.
I feel so bad for Joe. Why did they call him Weenie Man? He just seems so helpful.
He is. He's great.
Well, I enjoy the private life they've sketched out for him in the riffs too. Like, you're not my real father. Like,
I'm gonna go home and sleep in his sock drawer.
A strange package arrives, and they order more of it. When the boxes arrive, they successfully assemble their very own Interocitor.
Now, it speaks to what kind of Lego builder they are. Are they the person who separates out all the parts and looks through the plans at least once before starting? Or are they just like, bags open, one part at a time, don't know if I'm going to have enough?
more importantly, is Cal or Joe, are they someone who leave a screw that they think they're going to need on a surface in the home somewhere for like 8 weeks? And then one of the other throws it away, and then the other one is mad because I was going to do something with that.
How did that screw go?
Like, it was right there, Devry. Well, you didn't touch it for a week. Well,
oh, no, it's never a week. It's like 4 months.
I was
4
getting
months
to
of
it
just
the
moving
next
the
day.
screw around to different surfaces in the home.
It had a big hair wad on it and a piece of gum.
Yes, for purposes.
Made it easier to find.
Science gum.
Next, a big forehead guy Skypes into the lab and offers Science Man a job. Weenie Man is dubious.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Science Man tentatively accepts the offer and boards a pilotless plane and wings his way to Georgia.
Georgia.
See, really, we're just fooled by the fact that he just has nothing else to do tomorrow.
I can't tell if the way she says it is that standard Atlantic accent or if it's what happens when you spend longer than 2 weeks in the South, which is that you start yawling like Georgia. He's like, you did not sound like that when I met you a few years ago.
I am so ashamed that I say buggy now.
He says buggy. Yeah.
I hate it so much. I can't stop it.
I catch myself talking to my sisters. I'm like, okay. Like, okay. Like, little Southern Mr. Mackey. Okay.
The Science Man's met at the airport by an old girlfriend, Science Lady, and she doesn't remember him.
And no one can explain why she doesn't remember him, whether or not it's on purpose or not. No one has any idea why.
I have some ideas why.
They tried to explain it in the unriffed and the full version of the film, but it's still it's not good.
Yeah, there's no real reason for it.
Then,
Ha.
after meeting with the big forehead guy and a lovely dinner, Science Man, Science Lady, and the Professor go for a walk to plan their escape.
Let's take a stroll and figure out how to get away and then crap it down both legs.
Yeah.
Debbie, is this what people do at conferences?
After drinks, they're like, how do we get the fuck out of here?
I mean, more important, mostly it's how do I get the fuck out of here and go get drinks? Because the hotel bar is too expensive, so you rely on someone who knows where the dive is, the local dive, to go do that. I've never skinny dipped at a conference, though. Going back to like their earlier gag, I've never That's not
But faculty
happening.
mixers, whoa.
Listen,
I do think a college town's river would be particularly suspect.
Listen, I am a member of the Shakespeare Association of America, and we hear stories about the Malone Society dance that happens on the last night of the conference, and we are warned. Your life is different after you go, because you see people that you're supposed to respect in unrespectable configurations. So I was warned as a grad student, you don't go to the Malone Society dance unless you're ready to like be on your own. Can never ask anyone for help ever again.
Shit. We're not recording.
Or not.
Well, just go ahead and
need
start.
to be?
Yeah, go ahead and start recording now.
Nope, wrong thing.
We're good.
I like how you're trying, like they can't hear you. Just keep your off course. It's fine.
That's okay. We're fine now.
Mimi, don't let on that we're not recording.
What? We're not recording. Shh. Why are you hissing at me?
I've sprung a leak.
The big forehead guy's assistant starts shooting lasers at the escaping scientists. The professor gets blowed up, and science couple take off in an airplane.
Also never
I'm kind of
happened.
amazed they have an orbital weapons platform that can pull this off.
No, interocitor. It just creates the beams out of air. Interocitor.
It can lay 4-lane highways. It can materialize laser
Can
beams.
do all of Joe's wife's housework
Exactly.
while she
But
gains
can it
20
make
pounds?
a melty cheese sandwich?
No,
I'll bet it could.
it can't.
Joe's wife is like, I've got my housework locked down. I'm done by about 9:30 in the morning. And then
I just drink.
when the milkman arrives.
I just picture it, Marge, sitting at the table pouring the glass of wine and just the the ominous music.
A flying saucer abducts the airplane, and they're taken into custody. The big forehead guy tries to prepare the science couple for the journey to his home planet.
Science couple?
They're a couple now because he
He put his hands on her waist.
Yes, he
It is the 50s. Don't they have to get married now? He put his hands on her waist
they're
in
going
public.
steady.
Well, she did wear pants in his presence, so maybe that implies.
And she got
That's
her
how
hair
we ended up married. You wore a pair of shorts once and around me, and that was it.
and she got her hair wet.
And they went into the pond together, and you could see her bra.
Somehow her dad is on the spaceship with a shotgun when Cal gets on there. Just like, get boy.
No, make her an honest woman.
No, maybe it's just like the last episode. You go into space unmarried, you have to get married.
Like
Yeah, there was gonna be like, what were you doing up there? What were you doing up there?
And like our silent viewer just pointed out, if Project Moonbase has taught us anything,
Yes.
it's that you can't go to space unless you're married.
Or you have
That's
to be
right.
married when you return if you were unmarried when you went in.
Then, after some scientific-sounding gobbledygook, the spacecraft is arriving at the alien planet, and it's under attack.
No. Like, why did you bring us here?
Yeah. Why did you wait until the 11th freaking hour?
All this technology
to
and you
bring
let
us
us
here.
to...
What we need is all this research to bolster our ionic shields, but yeah, it don't matter.
It's
at this
fine.
point.
It's fine.
It's
If I was Exeter, I would have been coasting in, seeing it was under attack, and be like, "Well, that's not the planet we're going to."
I'm sorry, that's not Metaluna.
kind of driven
That's
around,
another place.
lap
We're gonna go
the
over
block
here.
a few times while you try to come up with another plan. Like, why don't we just go back to Earth? Let's just go back to Earth. It's fine. Whatever.
The two humans are taken to the alien leader. He tells them about the invasion of Earth, and he orders to have their brains scrambled.
It would make it easier.
And Cal's not into that because he likes his brains over easy.
Man,
Likes to dip the toast in it.
I wish I put a
Like a groan button.
groan or like
A rim shot?
a rim shot sound effect on the thingy. Oh wow.
At least you said it right. Sometimes I accidentally say rim job. And that's not right.
I'd love to tell a joke and then get a rim job.
They want to escape, but a giant bug is blocking them. A well-timed meteor collapses the hallway and squishes the bug.
And his trousers. His fantastic trousers.
What up, Mahale? I've never said what up before. I'm sorry.
Listen,
Hey!
I would be lying if I said there haven't been a few times in the past 10 years or so when I've been like, you know what would be nice? A well-timed meteor.
You know what? I have a well-timed meteor every morning around
Oh, Lord.
4:45 a.m.
Here's the thing. This is just for you. This is just for you, chat. Because Joe does not make poop jokes in front of us. When we're all doing this normally, he tries to pretend like he's like the one who's like above us. Like,
In
I'm
fact,
not-
you're seeing him in glasses. Usually he has a monocle
And a cravat.
and he drinks his beer with his pinky out.
Normally it's Deborah that makes the poop jokes.
And
I
a lot
have
of
so
of
many.
the editing is him editing out his
Man, I wish that weren't true. They make it to a spaceship, but another bug is blocking the stairs. Do you guys think it's another bug, or do you think it's the same bug?
Another bug. There's a bunch of
I
them.
thought so too, yeah.
Mutant!
I mean,
It's a
to us,
bug.
they all look alike.
The big forehead guy scuffles with the bug and gets stabbed, but Science Man saves him.
Does he?
I mean,
For now.
kind of. Prolongs his
You're an
life.
oversized creature with a giant head, and your MO for offing someone is a knife?
Well, I think he pinches him.
Pincers.
he saves him in the same way you save food in the
Okay.
fridge and then let it go bad in the fridge.
The three of them escape the planet just in time to see it blow up.
Yay.
Turn into a sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, that's not what planets do. hey, Exeter? Exeter? That's not how it works.
The mutant bug makes one last attempt to do something, but he disintegrates because of science.
Science.
We
Self-cleaning
didn't get in the
mutant.
tubes.
Trying to squeeze her like an ecto cooler.
Listen, we are in the middle of a full-on frickin' millipede invasion around here. And I would love nothing more that when they die, they just, you know? But no, I gotta walk through my basement and be very careful because it's just crunch, 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 crunch. It's not a good time. Not a good time in East Tennessee.
Yeah.
I need some
Man,
self-cleaning
that sounds gross.
millipedes.
It's gross.
It's not fun.
And finally, the trio make it back to Earth, and the science couple hop into their airplane. The big forehead guy crashes into an ocean.
And it's over. It's just like there's no...
Yeah, that was it.
They're like, denouement? Never heard of it.
Denouement, I
The
barely know
movie's,
her.
the movie's too
That's
long.
French for crash into the ocean.
The movie's too long. Get over it. Other stuff happened. It's fine.
15 years later, Jacques Cousteau finds his ship.
Thank you, Mihail. Yeah. I have to wear shoes in my own house right now. It's a real bummer.
Okay, it's not
In the
that
basement.
bad.
If I want to walk through the basement with any peace of mind, I have to put shoes on.
They're mostly in the garage. They almost never make it into the house.
It's because I vacuum every 3 or 4 days. That's why you think that.
Our host segments this time.
Yay!
Dr. Forrester gives a basic overview of the show's premise, for the newbies.
And they don't know what's missing.
Yeah.
But we know.
I mean, I kind of like the song, the music in the intro, but I really love the episode music. Yeah. Then we get the cinematic intro that the show has always deserved, but it's missing that one key element. The song has been changed to be a little less ridiculous. But how are people supposed to know that they should just relax?
That's right.
Exactly.
Everything seems fine until Crow's latest escape attempt goes exactly as planned.
I feel like if I just accidentally wandered in, like if my life was at such, I could just go to a theater this year and be like, I guess I'll watch that. I feel like I'm pretty relaxed. Does that make sense? Like, if I'm just walking into a random movie,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm too worried about too much.
If you're walking into a random movie, you might not be that relaxed because you're obviously jumping your ticket. Because usually you know what movie you're walking into.
Then Mike casually drops into a conversation that he knows how to fly, then attempts to drive the satellite of love, to disastrous results. He tries to make things right, but only succeeds in destroying the Hubble.
I never played Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I had one that was like Harriman Flight Simulator on my frickin', like, the computer my uncle built for me in like 1993. And I flew so many planes. I was very good at landing planes. I mean, I probably missed my calling. I'm just saying, as a pilot.
That escape scene is also my very first exposure to Crow, so I believe that is why I identify with Crow so much too.
I think about that thing at least once a week.
Next, Tom reveals that he has his own interocitor, and they try to use it to escape. They end up contacting a big forehead alien who's not very much help.
He's going to Summerfest. He's busy, man.
He's got to go.
He's only got 15 minutes to get to that beer tent.
He's got to go crush and bruise. And finally, the crew celebrates the end of the movie with a party. Dr. F tries to disrupt the party. Ooh, I dropped off my last. But ends up, well, it doesn't go very well for Dr. Forrester.
It never does.
No, now he can go to the beer garden.
Well, it is that time for us to head on down to the bar that you know that they've got in the Satellite of Love, because, I mean, they gotta have it, right? But we're gonna go down there and see what our Booze Master General has in store for us. So, Jeff, what are we drinking?
Well, our cocktail tonight for the Rouse Hour Cocktail Hour at the Rockin' No. 9 Lounge is what I'm calling a Metaluna, which is a variation of the Bella Luna. And to construct the Bella Luna, you will need the following: 1.5 ounces of gin, half an ounce of Saint Germain elderflower liqueur, half an ounce of lemon juice, 1/4 ounce of creme de violet, and a teaspoon of simple syrup. You would add all of your ingredients into a cocktail shaker with ice, shake, strain into a coupe glass, and enjoy. And this is a delightful
Where's our creme de violet? Did you put
cocktail.
creme
Why
de
is
violet?
ours not? Did I leave out the creme de violet?
You must have done, because that's
I'm up to...
it's like there's no
Well,
purple in here.
shit.
Do you want to go get it?
And I also used Empress
Ooh,
gin, which is purple.
Ah, okay.
that is tasty.
It is tasty.
It is a delightful little one. I also spritzed mine with a little luster dust because I'm fancy like that.
You fancy like.
We did not have any.
Absolutely.
We did not have any lemons, so Joe left out the simple and just used his sweet and sour,
Which is
his homemade
Okay.
bar sour.
which is basically
Which is probably why yours is so yellow.
that. Yeah,
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
it's
delightful.
tasty though.
The sweet floral character of the elderflower liqueur really shines in this. I used a nice quality gin, the Empress 1908. Really good little gin. I enjoyed it, but it is very floral, very light.
And that lemon coming in at the end. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's
Even
very
you,
delightful.
an avowed gin hater, how are you feeling about this cocktail?
You know, in this one the sweet and sour really tames down the gin. So
I mean, you get the gin on the nose, but
yeah, it's not there. So
And elderflower liqueur is a very powerful flavor.
yes.
It comes across strong in anything you use it in. I love an elderflower liqueur. It's really good stuff. So, before you kidnap a couple scientists and take them to a war-torn rock in the middle of nowhere, remember, please drink responsibly. And do not drink and fly.
No, not even a flight simulator. Do something else that's more fun, like play Myst.
The size of your forehead doesn't give you extra abilities.
No one tell my grandpa that. He's coasting into 94 years being like, yeah, look. You can show movies on this thing. It's because I'm smart. Like, okay, Bobby.
Grandpa's got an 8 head.
Last we heard your skull was separating. Be quiet. I know. It's rough out there for a 94-year-old whose family doesn't really like him that much. I can roast my grandpa on here. He doesn't know what a podcast is. Although someone's going to call me now and be like, he's dead. His phone was in his hand. And he was just so proud of his granddaughter. Just like, you boom roasted him out of existence.
No, it's the soulmate's curse. We've mentioned him on a podcast, so now he dies.
I mean, it's not going to be 94 years old. It's this. It's not 94-year-olds, the high blood pressure, or the skull separation. And the clearly beginning dementia. It's this. This did it.
At 94 years old, I don't think it's dementia. I think it's just that your brain is it's bored.
It's exposed too much to the air now.
Well, let's get right down to the real business that these people are here for. They don't want to hear about Debbie's.
They want to hear that I'm really itchy today. I'm itchy.
Let's talk about Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie.
Yay!
Still great.
I think we watched this one before.
I think we watched it before, too.
I don't remember.
No. That jumps.
Still great. Someone recommended that we watch the deleted scenes.
Yeah, that was Marty Catola.
Marty,
Mitch.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Marty. I didn't know that there were deleted scenes from the movie that were riffed.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. I'm like, why?
And I was so mad because there are phrases I would use in my day-to-day life in here, like I do for the rest of this thing.
There is a fan edit that a fan has gone through and added the deleted scenes back in, but he has not responded to my my messages yet, so I have not been able to procure a copy.
Okay.
But as soon as I do, I will. Well, I'll see it. I don't know if anyone else will see it. How did everyone...
I did like the alternate ending.
Yeah.
With the mutant showing up at Dr. Forrester's house.
Yeah. That was nice.
Scrotalor?
Scrotor.
Scrotor.
Give Uncle Scrotora.
So yeah, Mihail has a question for you. How did everyone see the film for the first time?
That's established lore for me. I saw it at Joe and Devery's house.
You saw this movie for the first time with us?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was the night we watched The Haunting, or...
Maybe I forgot that was your first time watching it.
I must have rented it from Hastings, because Hastings had, exactly 3. So Hastings was, our version. It was, used books, used music, but new stuff, too, and they had, a video rental section. And they had 3 MST3Ks. They had the movie, they had, I want to say, the Indestructible Man, and Cave Dwellers. So obviously 2 of those became core to my being. Yeah, I think I must have rented it and watched it. I had a girlfriend that even before we found MST3K, our favorite thing to do was put on PBS and mute it and make up our own dialogue while we were watching, Masterpiece Theater. But I must have seen it. I don't remember exactly when, but it was probably about the time it came out on VHS.
The first time I saw it would have been on VHS. Tony and I would have rented it from Blockbuster or Hastings.
Yeah.
Or
There's no way it showed in the theaters here.
No, I'm
There's
sure.
There's no way.
But I do remember...
I remember walking through Walmart and seeing it on DVD and being so excited to the point that a coworker was like, what are you...
Yeah.
Why are you hopping up and down?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's MST3K the movie! It's MST3K the movie! They're like, what is MST3K?
And it
and I proceeded to tell them.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
I'm evangelical
Ding dong.
about
Hello.
a puppet science show.
My name is
That's
Mimi
what
Smith,
Misties do.
and I would like to share with you the most amazing film.
And writing inks. My dad brought home a VHS of the movie and told me I'd like it. He was right.
Yep. Yep.
I do remember. I think I've told this before. Tony and I were on a road trip somewhere, and we stopped to visit his parents. They were living in Montana, and he and I just were in the living room watching this, and his sister comes in and just like, "What are you watching?" We explained it. And, why would anyone watch that? And I have never spoken to that girl since. This is like 30 years ago. And
I mean, side note, I think she's dead now. Is that the one?
way to bring it down,
They're just-
Devery!
You know what? Don't think you're going to heal that breach.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I'm like, I don't know. Like, any speaking to her now is not about that.
So yeah.
That one's not on us.
No.
No, that was on us.
No.
Sorry, Tony, if you listen to this. So
It was our it wasn't our first date. It was our first.
our first hang.
We like.
Yeah, we touched tips.
I did the most awkward. I could never do it now. Like we were both
Oh, God,
like
no.
sitting up on our elbows
And just
like on our stomachs.
Just like, oh, we just touched. Like, oh, it could be an accident if we just touch.
Oh, what?
Like, oh no, it's real.
And 25
So
years
flirty.
later, here we are.
So I have some new questions about the movie. First, one of the selling points in the trailer is that.
I was just about to put Happy Scoops has ewed our millipede problem and our tip touching.
Aw.
So now here's the thing. I don't feel like those are equal. But I mean, you do you.
So in the trailer, one of the things that they floppy scoops.
Oh, floppy scoop. Sorry, I need new glasses.
Well, it's tiny print. Is there anything that they could do now, like modern MST, the Jonah Emily era, if to get around the censors? Like, is there anything that? Basically, I want to know, how would Jonah and Emily have done this movie? Like, what would it have been like? What would the jokes be like?
Here's the thing: is I feel like that's kind of the inverse, though, because I feel like when they were making this film for more of a mass audience, they use some of the tactics that the newer seasons use. They talk over less of the dialogue. So they're trying to let the movie be the movie and the riffing be the riffing, in a way. For me, it more feels like it gestures to what MST3K became under Jonah and Emily. Because it's rapid fire. Everything is quality. Like, there is not a throwaway riff in this film. And I'm not saying that everything in the newer gens is all, not obviously, but because they had so much time to write this. But I do appreciate that when we watch like the unriffed film, nothing that happened in the unriffed film was a surprise to me because it had been talked over or been diluted by the riffing.
Well, and there is a possibility that it may have been a bit overwritten. Like they did sit on these riffs for quite a while, and some of them are good riffs, but they're missing that little bit of energy. And then you throw in the Hollywood machine on top of it.
Yeah.
The producers and everything. Like, well, maybe we shouldn't do that.
And that's kind of what I was trying to get with my
Gotcha.
question was, like it was billed as, hey, we can do things that we can't do on TV, but
Other than cursing, what was it?
but they have a network, or they have the producers and the studios.
I thought something was charming about like the music in the host segments. Like there's kind of a through line of a score running through. That was something I feel like would tie host segments together better. Give it more of a narrative vibe in between instead of just the silence in the backing.
So I guess maybe we should have started with this. That was poor planning on my part. But
You're live, baby.
I went and to prepare for this live extravaganza, I don't know why I said
Your
it that way.
extravaganza even petered out, much like the extravaganza.
So it's a mech extravaganza?
I tried to tell him to call it that earlier. He poo-pooed it.
I did.
Geniuses.
I listened to our 100th episode, which was our 100th episode extravaganza, but it wasn't live. And I have a couple of notes about that episode. Number one, Devry's audio quality. It
Was
sounds
bad.
like you were in a well.
I was in a well.
Why were you in a well?
A well of emotion.
Because Devry is baby Jessica.
I am. Listen, you're in a well. Deal with it.
The actual reason is that I had the mic aimed one direction, and so she was on the other side of the microphone.
But I was also in a well.
But she was also in a well.
Because that's why
I thought it was the Devry talking to her computer screen rather than the microphone.
No,
No.
Which happens sometimes.
it does. I've learned to orient my screen in front of the mic, finally. It only took 7 years.
So we had this little bit in that one that I think we tried to make a thing, and it just never really well, I would forget to bring it up, but the "what are you drinking" while we're recording bit, and I always liked it. So right now I'm finishing up a Metaluna and Sam Adams Oktoberfest,
Woo!
which is my favorite beer.
I've got water. Because I don't want a repeat of our 100th episode where I get really sort of sloppy and sappy.
So that actually brings me. Oh, but actually,
And I still mean everything I
yeah,
said.
no, it was great.
Shit, baby, Gen X popping off.
So Devry, you're drinking.
I am drinking Mina Mesa Zinfandel. It's probably like a $9 total wine.
And Mimi, are you drinking coffee?
Yes.
Mimi.
You were yawning
Always.
when we first called, so I was like, it's a coffee night.
I've literally had 2 naps today.
But
As opposed to her full regular sleep. Because she
She's
looks
hanging
nice.
in there. She's a fucking champ.
I'm trying.
Fucking champ.
But Jeff, you ended that episode a little sappy, and but it was all good stuff. But it brings me to the thing that I wanted to bring up is, again, Village of the Giants. You shouted them out at the end of the episode, the Village of the Giants unofficial fan page, because I cut from our Village of the Giants episode the almost all reference to them. I'm like, who cares about Village of the Giants? And then the very first thing, like the first tweet we got from in response to that episode going live was Village
Check
of the
out our
Giants.
webpage.
Like, again, no one mentions the Village of the Giants fan page. Jeff talked about it for like 12 minutes.
Listen.
And
And part of
Listen.
it did make it in there.
yeah, a little bit. Anyway.
We're a surly bunch. We MST3K Gen Xers.
Well, and there is reason to bring it up with this episode because the cat is the crossover
Yeah.
actor.
Cat was in both.
Yeah. Apparently the meanest actor on set.
I believe it.
So, soulmates, does Neutron survive the destruction of the compound?
You know it.
He's a
Neutron
mature
caused
ginger
it.
cat, so
Not-
he's got more brawn over brains.
Not only does he survive it, he has zero trauma. He wanders until he finds the next Georgia farmhouse. And basically he dies from being too fat because an old woman has fed him buttermilk biscuits for the last 3 years of his life. And he's like Exeter who?
He's all, see me burning doing the Neutron dance.
He survives, but he has the worst rasping snore.
I mean, that would have been
Even
a
when
great...
he's
I love
awake.
it. I
Even
love
when
a
he's
snoring
awake,
cat.
just...
I love a snoring cat.
Mahale disagrees. Mahale thinks that the cat died with a belly full of milk.
But I can't digest it!
I mean, a plot twist would have been when they cut to the ship and Exeter's walking him on and Neutron's sitting on the head alien's lap. He was with
Actually,
us the whole time.
A plot twist would have been if it were the cat
From outer space.
I was going to go
I was going to go the Disney film.
with the cat from Captain Marvel.
Oh,
It's that Flurkin
The
thing.
Flurkin?
Yeah.
Goose.
They didn't have the effects to do Flurkins back then.
Actually, it's a ginger cat. He barfed on someone's shoes.
Listen.
That's what they do.
I love people who love their cats. My cousin has 3, and every time we talk, they don't give... They're just living their lives. But the second I am on the iPad, they're like, who are you paying attention to? And all it is cat asses. For 3 hours when I'm trying to talk to her, because all of a sudden they're like, you're talking to this box? Hello? Excuse me.
Do you see my cat flap?
You're touching the box when you should be touching me.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I don't know why they don't care about my iPad unless we're on a call. I'm like, because they're jealous, because they're cats.
And you know that cat left a little stinky prize in Brack's forehead divot every morning.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's shitting his helmet all the time. Like, Brack could go to slip it. Oh, no! Oh. That's why he's so vindictive about the cat. That cat I ought to... Exeter's like, it's behavioral. Take him to the vet. He's just upset about something. Maybe it's a UTI. Cat's like, that cat is a fucker.
All right, Floppy,
Brack,
have a good...
Did you wipe down your helmet with ammonia again?
Bye, Floppy. Floppy Scoops has left the chat.
Oh.
We love you too. Oh, you have to talk to Mimi about when we're doing the riff tracks of the room because she is categorically opposed to hip dick. That's like, if Mimi was running for president, she would have no hip dick campaign ads
In fact,
everywhere.
I think it was like date 4. She's like, I have a personal thing to ask you. And I'm like, what's that? And she's like, do you have a dick hanging from your hip? And I'm like, no.
To be fair, I've seen a lot of worse movies since then.
That's fair. And here's the
I
thing.
would rather watch Hip Dick than Atlantic Rim again.
We will do it, but we just have to make sure she's drunk enough at the end of the previous podcast that she forgets she's agreeing to do it.
Or it could be for my birthday.
Oh, yeah, Joe loves to stick the hip dick to Mimi on his birthday, so to speak. What does Mimi not want to watch?
This is going to be one of those things that I forget after we say we're going to do it, and then it's Monday night, and I'm like, Jeff, what are we watching tomorrow? The Room.
No! Sorry about the hip dick jokes. Floppy Scoops.
So, I was watching one last time before we started recording, and I'm just watching the Zagon meteors just bomb the hell out of Metaluna, and I'm just wondering, did the Metalunans ever consider launching a counteroffensive to do something about this, or is their plan just to stay shielded?
They went high. The Zagons went low.
And you know what?
Or they tried. Maybe they did. Maybe they are the ones that were the aggressors to begin with. They just have nothing left.
No?
To be fair, it worked really well in The Expanse.
Listen.
They fucked Earth.
And the Zagons were like, hey, this Metaluna place has like an incredibly high gravity. Let's just throw some meteors in that direction.
Listen, all I'm
What if
picturing is like
Will
Exeter.
they
like,
hit him? Like, oh, with that gravity? Oh,
Listen.
absolutely they'll hit him.
The Zagons claim they have more military capability. They don't. We're going to go to Earth. We're going to get those scientists. Come back, help us defeat the Zagons. I'm holding a pen.
Like Bob Dole.
I'm doing a Bob Dole.
Bob Dole.
Because I'm Gen X. Bob Dole. Beam of pure energy.
So we're gonna. There's one last thing I want to talk about before we move on to the host segment part. But I want to talk about I lost it. Oh, The Unrift. The original version of the film.
Mm-hmm.
So I had never actually watched just the film by itself, ever, until earlier this week. And I was enchanted. Like, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. It's a beautiful film.
And the thing that I will say, if you are afraid that you're going to miss the riffs, you don't need to be afraid, because
The riffs live inside you.
the human brain is an amazing thing, because your brain knows what is supposed to be being said. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. And then if you're in the room with Devry, you don't even have to fill them in, because
I can't.
she just says them.
I'm not even paying attention. I'm like on my phone.
She's in the kitchen stirring something, and I just hear riffs.
I can't help it.
To be fair, some of the riffs are stuff we say in real life.
Yeah.
Yum.
I do yum.
I farted.
Whenever I take anything, like if I'm assembling something and all the parts are on the floor, I say, there, it's done. What do you think? Every time. Every time.
I'm constantly saying twisting them and adjusting them.
Oh, but I go like hyper. I'm like, and adjusting them. I'm like, I don't even think Trace goes that hard or Servo goes that hard.
And yeah, Mihail, that is exactly my point. Why did Metaluna wait so long to enact their plan? Because they get to the point where they bring them back, and within a half an hour, Metaluna is a son. So maybe up your timeline, folks.
Hold on. But here's the thing. We have to understand we're dealing with academics. We're dealing with academics, which means you have the inevitable, like, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Let's form an ad hoc committee to prevent it.
Let's keep the grant funding coming.
Ad hoc committee that's going to meet like twice in 8 months, maybe, if they can get everybody together.
And half the meeting is trying to remember what happened the previous meeting.
Yeah.
Also, they're really looking forward to analyzing how this went wrong afterwards.
Yeah. And so when it actually happens, they're like, oh, dang, who knew?
I mean, I just solved it.
Breach hole, all die. I had it underlined and everything.
So from our 100th episode, Jeff had an amazing theory that he put forth about the movie.
The interdimensional?
Exactly. Metaluna is not a different planet, it's a different dimension, in which time moves differently than it does. Time flows differently there. So Exeter was on Earth for what he thought was 2 years to do his plan. When he gets back, 20 years have passed, and it's now too late to do anything.
I feel like such advanced aliens would have known about time dilation, though.
I mean, they did message him on Earth.
They did,
Yeah.
but they
That takes some tricky AV calculations.
Exactly, Mihail. Has this alien invasion of Earth been peer-reviewed? What journal was it in? Was it in a pay-to-play journal? Then we don't accept it, no. What was its rating? Was it R1? I don't know.
So let's move on to the host segments. The only note that I have in my new notes is that I wish they had kept the hall walking scene going forward in episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talk about this because we watched the making of both of This Island Earth and of the MST3K movie. And they do talk about how filming the movie gave them sort of a dynamism they can't have when they're shooting week to week. But I do like the feeling of them interacting with the environment and being in other parts of it's almost like TARDIS-like, that we see more than just the bridge. And I think it's Mike that laments that on the show they're restricted to the bridge generally, so.
Well, Joel tried back in the early days with the
Yeah. Yeah, it is nice to give it a sense of scope and what their life is like outside of it. I like that we see Mike exercising, we see, the underbelly. I enjoyed it, yeah.
But we never see the squash court.
No.
We do see Servo's bedroom.
We see Servo's underwear.
I love that they have bedrooms. They're robots. They don't need bedrooms, but it's so cute. That's such a Joel thing. I mean, like, I know, we're dealing with Mike, and if you're not familiar with the show, you're not going to know. But the notion that he would have given them their own space. Because they're so
It does beg the
different.
question, how many people was Dr. Forrester planning on eventually sequestering on the Satellite of Love? I mean, did he plan for more test subjects?
Oh,
That's a lot of bedrooms for one guy.
There's
Yeah.
at least 4 more seats.
You know what? You're right.
Are we to imply that Mike and Joel are the only people dumb enough to actually fall for whatever got him up there? Everyone else is like, no. Mm-mm.
There was another temp worker. Her name was Peggy, and she was a single mom, and she had to be out of there by 4 o'clock
I gotta
sharp.
get home to the kids. God, the damage they do to that kitchen if I'm not home right at 4.
I told Bobby to get that chicken out, and he didn't get it out, so
bought-
I gotta go thaw that thing under the
I
tap.
bought 4 boxes of generic Frosted Flakes. There won't be a single one left when I get home. If I'm not home
know,
at 4,
The
Jesus.
girl I got watching them, she has to be at her shift at the A&P at like 6:30. So
You know that Menards discount, it doesn't give me as much on the generic Frosted Flakes as it used to, but that's what they want.
And the temp supervisor's like, well, you really need to be more flexible in your scheduling. No, I gotta go.
No,
It's 4
listen,
o'clock.
you tell my kids to be more flexible. I mean, and then
Those
we'll
kids
talk.
get off the bus at 4:05, and I gotta be
I
there,
need to be
man.
more flexible. You need to say quitting time's at 4. Quitting time needs to be 4. Like 4:01, I should walk out the door.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought about that. So Mihail is pointing out that Servo is receiving some pleasure when he's being sucked into the hole. And, like, there's the sound, and then Mike plucks him out and puts the helmet, and he says, ah, darn. I'm experiencing sensation altogether new to me, and frankly, I love it.
Yeah, there's a little bit more sexual humor, and
There is.
then there's like the make with the smoke in the tube thing.
Yeah. That was in the tubes, man. And what kind of shithole planet is this? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
You didn't notice it? I came out of a dead sleep laughing about that.
Maybe it's because I say it all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, we do
Wait,
we
did I
do
hit allow?
quote Earth, what a shithole.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why it didn't show this.
Is that the stand you were looking for?
Yes.
Man. Sorry, we had a comment that was posted in chat, and Twitch was being weird about letting it go through, so I thought I hit allow, but I guess it didn't go through.
Oh.
We added permitted term sucked off.
Oh! Okay, yeah.
Mihail, you're good.
All right, cool.
But Twitch was like, do you want Mihail to say sucked off in your chat? And we're like, yes.
Yes, please!
Yes. Immediately, yes.
If he doesn't, I will.
So,
Twitch has your back.
like, other than the Mike running on his hamster wheel, which is kind of new and fun, I mean, Mike also gets to play with the Manos to damage the Hubble.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed his paper that Gypsy brings him is the satellite news.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch that. That's a great catch. That's a fun little Easter egg.
Fandoms
It is
on
our
fandoms.
homepage.
So yeah.
I'm so boosting this audio later.
Isolating. Isolating.
Isolating him saying, yeah, okay.
We need to make this font bigger.
I know.
What does this say?
We're very 40s.
So
We're incredibly in our 40s.
So we are going to move on, but
I'm not.
Are there? You're in your 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move on, are there any final thoughts for the general discussion?
Do you want me to talk about the burger painting?
Well, that's in your explains.
It's in Splains?
You're explaining it, aren't you?
I thought I was just going to talk about my
you're-
weird obsession in general.
Oh, wait, I thought you were going to explain it, but go ahead, talk about your...
I did see someone on Reddit was trying to track down
Yeah.
the original print.
It was mostly because I think we watched another movie shortly thereafter. I'm like, it's the burger painting. But here's the interesting thing. In my head, the other movie we had watched, I was fixated that it was Cash McCall, starring James Garner and Natalie Wood. So I pull up Cash McCall because we have it because it was one of your dad's favorites, right? And I'm watching it and I can't find the burger painting, but at one point they're in an office and I'm like, that's Exeter's office. So I'm like freeze framing and it's the same like green marble fireplace outline, the same wood paneling. And I'm like, it's the same office, but the burger painting isn't there. So I'm like, am I just like a savant for weird sets? And so Joe and I both like fast forward through the movie twice each looking for this burger painting. And then he goes back and listens and he was like, you said it was like a Doris Day movie that we had seen. And I was like, Love Her Come Back. And like, it just came to me. And then we put on, and within what?
It was in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
There's
Like,
the burger painting.
Burger painting.
So I don't know why, like, I can't remember student names now. Like I have a really, but like I know where that fucking burger painting is at all times.
I like that subconsciously you made the connection of burger painting and set and found another scene with the set.
Yeah.
But without
Yeah.
the burger painting.
I was like, because I'm pulling it up, I'm like, there's no burger painting, but I'm showing Joe like stills of Exeter in front of the fireplace, and there's, I'm like, it's the same office set, and he's like, it is, but where's the burger painting? And Lover Come Back, Lover Come Back. It's in Lover, the burger's in Lover Come Back.
And it was.
And we opened the movie, and it pops up Universal International, and I was like, aha,
And it's still, that painting exists in a weird, like,
pocket dimension
dimension
of
or something
60s
because-
films. 50s and 60s
if you
films.
search for it, if you you do a Google search for it, it'll bring up MST. It'll bring up This Island Earth, and there's some discussion about what it is about the painting.
Is it like
And-
a commemorative portrait of the Battle of Trafalgar?
And if you search paintings of
Yeah.
the Battle of Trafalgar,
You can't find
Nothing.
anything that looks
nothing,
like that.
nothing that even looks like this.
Yeah.
So it's still a mystery. One day I will own this
I
painting.
mean, and I am in.
It was a universal prop painting.
Am I in Inception and this is my totem? Is the burger painting?
It's only a matter of time before AI fills in the gap.
I was so weirded out that I kept cluing into Cash McCall. The burger painting isn't there, but the set is there. And I was like, what is wrong with me? In another life, oh god, that's the most boring other life I could have had, is I was like a set decorator in the 50s and 60s. Maybe it is. Maybe it's my past life. She died like July 31st, 1980. So I'm like, Sylvia from Universal, like, ugh. And I came online in Idaho, and I'm like, that burger.
She's like, for lunch, give me what I always get, a double cheeseburger and a large fry. Come on.
She dies. I come online like, where's the burger painting? Where is it? It needs to be
Everybody's
behind.
first words, burger painting.
It's got to be
Give me that
behind.
burger painting. It needs to be it needs to be on that scene on Hardcastle McCormick.
Put it behind Gig Young. He'll be fabulous.
So we're going to do something that I'm a little nervous about, but you know what? We're going to do it anyway. We're going to do an ad break live.
Oh my God.
We haven't talked about this. We don't know what we're doing yet, but beep 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 beep.
Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Hard Bodies Theater Adventures of Myra and Annie. Brought to you this week by Manic Pixie Cream Girl, the ice cream that makes you feel young again. We find our lovely lasses of adventure at a state fair.
Well, okay, what are we doing next? Are we riding the vomitorium, or are we getting like 8 corn dogs on one stick? Which one?
There's that, but according to the app, there's also a giant corn dog somewhere.
Oh, listen. I was with Steve all last weekend. We're not doing a giant corn dog, is all I'm saying. I'm stuffed.
There also seems to be corn dogs covered in tater tots, corn dogs covered in cheese.
You know what?
It's not just any cheese, though. I suspect it may be head cheese.
Let's not, it's too on the nose. I'm not doing any corn dogs this trip. Let's find something different. What do you see that's different?
Gyros? What's that?
A Greek man just punches Annie. Listen, I told you about my last weekend. I'm not doing gyros either. I gyroed till I had to leave.
So much feta.
So much feta. Listen,
So much
let's
feta.
not even talk about feta in the aftermath of the gyroing. Oh,
What about something cold?
something cold. Yes, let's find something cold. How about this? Ooh, Manic Pixie Cream Girl. That sounds intriguing. Oh, they're giving out free samples. Here, you take some.
Ooh.
You take some.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
That's nice.
Oh my god. All I hear in my head is the Shins. Do you hear new slang by the Shins in your head? Like really
No, but
loud?
I want to go buy an exotic animal.
Oh my god, I feel like I need to find a guy and fix him. This is terrible.
Hey, I'm a guy.
Hey,
You could fix me.
have you heard a song called New Slang by the Shins?
No, but I'd love to.
It'll change your life. I don't know why I,
feel
think
like
that all of a sudden.
I need to flee from my corporate life. I don't have a corporate life.
I long to wear clothes that don't match.
And again, I want to buy an exotic animal and put it on a diamond leash.
I don't like this ice cream. I feel very different.
Oh, that's it. It's not lactose free.
Oh God, that's what it is. Oh my God.
I gotta find a bathroom.
Listen, I
Oh,
apologize
God.
for what I'm going to become.
God, Annie.
I apologize for what I'm going to become later. It's not good.
And that is all for this week's installment of Hard Bodies Theater, Adventures of Myra and Annie.
I've always said, Mimi and I are the Amy Poehler and the Tina Fey of southeastern Idaho.
I Debrius both of those things, and I'm just
No,
Tracy Jordan.
No, you did great.
What are we doing?
Tune in next week for an episode we're calling Gimme 2 Scoops. Oh wait, that's just double poops.
Already, this episode is very poop-centric, and I'm not sure I agree.
Have you ever heard our podcast?
No.
Yeah, it's very poop centric.
We literally talk about a show who one of their favorite gags is poopy.
Poopy.
All right.
Ah, poopy.
Baby, do you have your notes handy?
I don't.
That was my favorite of the cut scenes, is the, "Yo, booby!"
Ah, poopy!
So,
Well, hang on. We gotta do this right.
okay.
Get coffee real fast.
So you're bailing out really
So I did have to add new splains this time because Joe made me.
Yes, right.
At one point when the plane is approaching the tower, after the green light has gone off, there's just kind of this creepy shot of Cal floating in the air, cruising toward the camera. And Mike says, "Look out, President Clinton." So this is referencing an incident with a gentleman named Frank Eugene Corder. Hold on. Y'all are seeing behind the... So he died on September 12th, 1994, after he crashed his plane onto the south lawn of the White House.
Oh.
He did not survive that crash. He had like kind of a long and troubled history, and the Clintons were not actually in the White House at the time. They were staying in another building because the White House was under renovations. But I do remember this being a big news at the time.
I remember it vividly.
Yes. So, and this came out in what year
97.
was? Yeah, so yeah. When Cal first gets on the plane and the little triangle box at the front is lighting up as Exeter is talking to him through the interocitor, Mike says, "You're being kidnapped by the Light FM." This is referencing radio station WLTE, now KMNB, which billed itself as Light FM, and their TV ads had a little glowing triangle on it.
Oh, okay.
I just assumed for the longest time it was The Voice,
That's what I assumed.
because The Voice is very Casey Kasem, but apparently there's a deeper kind of meaning to that.
Writing Inks posted that they need the Splain music as a ringtone. So just drop an email to soulmatespodcast@gmail.com.
I mean, presuming that if Mihail is...
As long as Mihail, because the Mihail actually owns that. So if he says it's cool, then yeah, I'll send you the MP3 and you can do whatever you want.
You could also have the coattail Splain as a ringtone, but it goes on for like 8 minutes. I swear. And finally, as they're arriving in Metaluna, Servo says, "Oh, they're flying into a Roger Dean album cover." And Crow says, "Yeah, they're really into Yes on this planet." So Roger Dean is an artist who did a lot of kind of surreal sci-fi centered imagery that was featured on album covers, predominantly the band Yes. So if you think in the terms of like Yes, Asia, like that's the vibe. There's my splains.
All right.
Yeah.
So guys, are you ready to do this, or do I have to push my button?
What are you ready to do?
Those were the days.
It's time for those days.
Oh.
You should have
But I can't do my part. I can't do the thing.
you
that
could
I
do
know.
a segue and be like,
It's time for us to violate someone else's copyright.
Hey, you see?
Tom Servo sang a rhyme.
Joel's invention sure was fine.
Oh no, we got movie sign. Those were the days.
And you do who you wanted.
That's a little tidbit for all y'all, because Mimi does that like 90% of the time.
The air date of our episode was December 29th, 2020.
Ooh, shake up.
Because I already
I was
did
like,
those
how
were
are
the
you gonna?
days.
Yeah, I was wondering.
There wasn't a lot of news on that one to begin with.
It's like more history happened, and we just
It's
found
going
out
to
about
get
it.
weird and recursive.
On December 24th, UK and the EU agree to a free trade agreement prior to the end of the transition period for Brexit. On December 27th,
Went great.
the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases passes 80 million worldwide.
Ooh,
Yeah. Album release at this time on December 24th, Moby's Live Ambience Improvisational Recording Volume 1. And on
How
December
fitting.
25th, Playboy Cardi Whole Lotta Red.
Just failure after failure after failure.
I don't know.
well, we were all just trying not to die.
There is that.
In the box office this week, this actually surprised me that there's so many movies out. But I forget that they were like, no, everything's fine.
It was holiday
Everything's fine.
season.
Yeah.
Was Moby considered an essential worker?
I mean, he thinks so.
What? I'm bald? That makes me essential. In the box office this week, Wonder Woman 1984, starring Gal Gadot and Chris Pine.
Mm-hmm.
The animated movie Soul, starring Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey.
Mm-hmm.
The Robert Rodriguez film We Can Be Heroes. News of the World, starring Tom Hanks and Helena Zengel. One that I'd never heard of before, but I'm quite intrigued by. One Night in Miami, starring Kingsley Ben-Adir, Eli Gorey, Aldous Hodge, and Leslie Odom Jr.
Oh, that's the one about like MLK and
Malcolm
X.
and-
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And Promising Young Woman, starring Carey Mulligan, Bo Burnham, Alison Brie, and Clancy Brown.
That movie makes me fearful for my...
You shouldn't need to be fearful, Joe. You act right, you won't need to be
That's
fearful.
just it, is I don't know, like... What,
But yes, you do.
No, I'm just saying, like, what do I do that might... I
Nothing.
think is
Cassie
innocuous?
would never touch you. She would love you.
I hope so.
And in the charts this week. At number 3, 'Tis the Season. Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee.
Mm-hmm.
At number 2, All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey.
Give me her money.
And at number 1, D Willow by Taylor Swift.
D Willow?
That's what it said. D and then Willow.
Psst.
Well, what's it called then?
Willow.
Just
Then why did it have a big D by it?
I don't know.
because Taylor likes the D.
Because it was big D, lowercase letters, Willow.
All
I've
Taylor
known-
wants for Christmas is D.
I mean, she's got Travis Kelce now. She's good.
So I have to make a correction. I said writing inks. It is writing in KS. I apologize, Patricia. And Mihail points out that December 12th is his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Hey, happy birthday.
happy
and December
birthday.
16th, his son's birthday.
Nice.
Aw.
So, anyway. And Clancy Brown, but Clancy Brown will always be the Kurgan, so he should have just
I
stopped.
love Clancy Brown.
I do
Love
too.
Clancy Brown.
I love him and everything, but he's just the Kurgan.
But it was
He was
so
the
weird.
best part of Earth, too.
It was so weird to see him as like her sweet dad.
Her sweet dad, right?
Like, hey,
he's
Cassie.
great.
Like,
And
here's-
this is a mere 3 weeks away from me contracting COVID for the roughest 2 weeks of my life.
and me like screaming at all my friends here, like, if they take Jeff, like I riot. Like I was so mad. I think you were the first person we knew who thought had it, and I was feeling pretty rough.
I'm touched.
I was trying not to pass it off to you because I am my mother's daughter, and I didn't want to be like but keep it all.
So my
inside.
COVID experience, I ran a fever for 11 days straight. I felt like every joint in my body was broken for about 5 or 6 of those days. And I had just enough energy to walk 10 feet from my bed to the couch and back.
Yeah.
And you know what? We still release an episode every 2 weeks.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder what we recorded during that time.
Who cares? We did it, though.
It just
I think we began our film crew February.
Oh, Mihail, Dr. Kimbrough is a very big Swiftie. I am
yeah.
I'm not throwing any shade or any fire
No.
at Taylor. Like I do, and I am also
I'm
a Swiftie by proxy.
I think you're just a Swiftie in general. You find her.
She's adorable and dorky and anyway.
What was the song you conjured up out of nowhere the other night? Like you conjured a random lyric from a deep cut when I was talking to Annika, and I was like,
Oh, So anyway,
That
Jeff,
was the way of the world, December 29th, 2020.
listen, you brought me crashing back, and I will admit the other day I found out about a National Geographic documentary called The First Wave, where they just spend like a week in a New York hospital during that initial, when New York was hit really hard. And I was like, oh, there's been distance. And I was like, no, there hasn't. I know there's not been enough distance from, because all the weird, like, just came back. So don't watch it is what I'm saying.
This
basically.
was also 6 days before the January 6th insurrection.
This podcast, just writing
That
in
was gonna-
chaos.
yeah.
Yeah. This was also one of our joys during, because
the podcast.
she says the podcast was one of the, or he or she says this podcast was one of my joys during COVID, and it was one of ours too, because
Got us through.
we got a
Even
chat.
though I made you guys watch Film Crew for an entire month.
I enjoyed some of the film
it was
crew.
fine.
But we're gonna move on. But I just need to point out I remember distinctly that Mimi recorded for about a year wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Did I?
You did.
You wore the mask a lot.
It may not have been a year, but damn.
It was my emotional support.
I know.
That's
it
fair.
was fine.
I get it.
I needed that thing.
In my head canon, you were like, fuck this, I'm not wearing a mask at work or out and about, but at home, you're a mask.
No. I still wear a mask at work.
I have been lucky.
Not just in my emotional mask.
And I've been wearing a mask in public since I was about 7.
And he pulls it off. He's Army Hammer.
I was going to say I wear a mask too, but I don't.
No, I'm Sledgehammer.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
I don't, but it's mostly because students don't really, they're not like in my space in college. I just use a lot of hand sanitizer. I do okay.
So, God damn it, I keep getting distracted. And Mihail just he made that 18 drop for us during COVID.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have to say that, like, Mihail, you doing that was the point. I'm like, okay, there's a real reason we're doing this podcast.
Yeah. And it's you.
I mean, it's for him now. No, it's like, holy cow, we have it. Like, there are people who actually give a shit. And
Joe conjures up the Riders of Rohan as like as Theoden is clinking his sword for Mihail.
Well, and I think this goes back to our episode. I was, in the parlance of the millennials, I was having big feels
Yeah.
because things were stressful, and I wanted to let everybody involved with us doing this podcast know how much I appreciated
Yeah.
them just being there, just being involved, present, even if they weren't involved with our podcast, but creating the stuff that they created that we draw from. I just had to put it out in the world because there was so much shit. And Mimi and I were both we weren't like emergency workers, but we were in retail hell trenches.
I think I was the only one who got kind of blessed out of that situation. I got to work from home for
long time.
about a year.
I sold liquor at a period of time where people drank half again more than they ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Christmas constantly.
One
I just
last,
didn't leave the house for weeks on it.
One last aside from me. So Jeff, yeah, you were definitely in your feels at the end of our 100th episode. But the thing is that you had said that same thing before. And usually I would cut it because so I don't know. I have this thing where I don't want to embarrass ourselves. I don't want anyone to say anything that they might get embarrassed about later on. And I'm like, okay, Jeff, was he drunk and just starts talking?
Let's
It
get
happens.
behind the curtain here. Jeff drinks a little bit.
So, but what the point I'm trying to make is that I must have also been in my feels because there was something that hit me. I'm like, you know what?
I'm going to leave it
This
in.
is staying in this time.
And I don't know if it helped anybody or anything like that. We have very little impact. I mean, our fan group is the literal dozen.
I mean, we got 13. We're a baker's dozen.
We're a baker's dozen now. But anyway. Nice. Nice. All right, but we're going to move on because we have got to make a better movie out of this. So it's woulda, shoulda time.
And hey, people in the chat, if you're in the baker's
Oh,
dozen,
Yeah.
which one of you has the sprinkles?
Yeah. Or we could do a fun thing and be like, give us a prompt for woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, if you have an idea for woulda, coulda, shoulda, please drop it
Here,
in.
I'm going to start because for some reason, because it's getting into spooky season and I just hadn't watched it in a while. I rewatched Fire Walk with Me today and I'm like, what if David Lynch had done this Island Earth?
It would have made no sense at all. None. Like there would have been.
They would be walking around backwards on that ship.
Yeah.
That's
I
for
just
damn
want
sure.
like the weird, like for some reason Exeter's eating a giant bowl of creamed corn as like, you know, doom 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 plays in the background and everyone just acts like it's fine and then randomly David Bowie shows up and you're like, sure. And maybe Chris Isaac is there. I mean, and you're like, fine.
Jeff
just-
dematerialized for a minute. I'm like,
Jeff's just,
holy shit.
Suddenly it was me and Joel and Crow.
Yeah.
Man, hey man, listen, I've had some wine. I had my CBD. And I watched Fire Walk with me today. You can't just disappear on me, man.
And you can't be throwing David Lynch at us. We watched Eraserhead recently.
I don't think I'll ever be the same.
It's Saturday. Let's watch Eraserhead.
Well, I was just she was asleep, and I'm like, I need to find something to watch.
Oh.
Yeah, let's watch. Let's knock this out.
And that's not an easy wake up.
Oh,
Yeah.
you never
Wake
seen
up,
it? Okay.
Wake up about 2/3 the way through Eraserhead. Yeah.
I mean, I just feel it would be better if Angelo Badalamenti scored it. Is what I'm saying. It's just like weird, like strumming electric guitars on a jazz backing for no reason. Like as Cal's just walking across, going, boom, doom, doom, doom. I'm like, yeah.
See, mine is also musical, and it's a recasting. That the mutant, every mutant should be played by Bootsy Collins, and all the Metalunans should be Parliament Funkadelic,
So, do you know
which would
that
make those tubes filled with smoke so much cooler.
Did you know that you just did like a meta, a bit within a bit here?
Did I?
So, okay.
Oh no.
Did you already diss this?
Have I done this before?
No. In the so thanks to Marty Catola, we watched we bought the Blu-ray, the Shout Factory Blu-ray that has the deleted scenes that are ripped, and anyway, one of the things that they talk about with studio interference is they say, hey, it's Bootsy Collins in a riff, and the studio says, oh no, no one knows who that is, and they change it to someone who is from the 90s. I forget, I don't even remember who it is. Like, hey, that guy looks like such and such.
I can hear the riff, but it's gone.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Wow.
I've just been listening to a shitload of funk.
The thing is, at that point, most of us would have known Bootsy Collins from the D-Light video.
Fair.
I mean, even if you didn't listen to P-Funk in college, you knew that video.
Mm-hmm.
And by that point in the 90s, dude, P-Funk was back, and it was big. Because of Dr. Dre and G-Funk.
I feel like we should apply the eternal Gen X question to this is, if this was a Muppet movie, who would be the human? I think Kermit has to be Cal.
would Exeter be the human?
No, it has to be someone. It has to be like Ruth.
Yeah.
And like Brack is Miss Piggy, and that's why she's so like no about these people.
Oh, the Metalunans could be the pigs in space.
Yeah, or Rizzo and all his rats. Yeah. No, but the pigs in space obviously is the better.
So let's.
The mutant would just be a dude.
Yeah.
The mutant would start off as a Muppet, but eventually he would remove his head and reveal that he was a human.
The
whole
irony
time.
would be that the mutant is the one human in the.
I like the
Everyone else is
idea
Muppets.
of Exeter
The-
being the human.
The mutant would take off his head and it would be a celebrity cameo, like Jimmy Buffett or something.
I like it.
The mutant is now played by Tim Curry.
We have a couple of
Okay.
prompts here. So we'll start with silent viewers here.
The Metalunans turn out to be a Mission Impossible style setup by the Soviets to steal his research. Cal would 100% walk into this trap.
And paranoid, his paranoid assistant.
Yeah.
It's the commies.
It's the
commies,
Russians.
Cal.
It's the Russians.
No.
Oh, Joe, everything's
Joe,
the commies to you.
I ordered the parts and they signed it off with Dos Vidania.
Where are all the parts coming from Irkutsk?
So Patricia, back to the Muppets. Weenie Man Joe is Scooter. From
Oh,
the Muppets.
100%.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but
Wait, what?
Oh,
It wasn't Scooter in the movie?
Actually, I feel like the best thing would be if Weenie Man is Beaker, and that makes Cal Bunsen Honeydew. Like Cal trying to like scam on Ruth. Well, don't you remember when we went skinny dipping in that water? You were an awful sissy about that coal. Now who's the human? It's not Cal anymore.
At what point does Joe's head explode? Because that's a must.
I'm going to say the human is Ruth, and we give Bunsen Honeydew his laurels. We make Bunsen Honeydew a leading man.
Oh.
No one has made... Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker just called it... I'm fine, Beaker.
I'm disturbed that it implies that Ruth would eventually, like, stroke his head or something. Oh, Cal.
Brack is played by Lady Gaga, 100%. She could bring, like, the Tim Curry camp to that. I would watch that.
Where do you work in The Swedish Chef?
There has to be an extra scene.
Would he be one of the scientists at the table?
Our international scientist.
I'm sorry. I figured it out. I cracked the code. It's that Brack is Lady Gaga and Exeter is Laverne. What's her name? From, like, Promising Young Woman and Orange is the New Black.
You got me.
Yes.
She plays the new Frankenfurter in the...
Dang it.
Laverne Cox? Is that
Laverne Cox.
Yes, Laverne Cox.
Brack is Laverne Cox, benevolent, awesome. And Brack is Lady Gaga, the evil, the like...
But I don't want to be turned on in a Muppet movie.
Hey, listen, that ship sailed when you watched Muppet Treasure Island, and you know it.
And wasn't Amy Adams in the new Muppet movie?
Because we had Tim Curry in Muppet Treasure Island, and Billy Connolly.
And Gonzo.
Yeah, Amy Adams
Gonzo
was there
fucks.
for us, for the people who like that version.
I was not ready to tackle that in this episode. Where are we going with this?
All right, so let's. But there was one more that I wanted to get to.
Excuse me,
Let's see.
Camilla, let me just turn
So-
down the light.
I had no idea that 3/4 of this podcast is Muppet sexual.
Here's a Mihail suggestion.
Fuck that long ass plan with resources and planetary shields. Portal opens up in downtown Nashville. Thousands of Metalunans pour out. Now it's the red dawn of Independence Day.
And it's immediately over because there's too many bachelorette parties for them to do anything.
Holy shit!
It's Nashville. They immediately try to storm the place, and they're like, "Sorry, $10 cover charge."
Yeah, it's over. It's over.
And all the Metalunans get distracted because they have to buy cowboy boots and cowboy hats.
This decent man could have gotten a drink and bar in Nashville.
All right,
at
so
a bachelor party because it was too busy.
Some real talk here for just a minute.
Stop going to Nashville.
So one of my close friends got married in June, and his bachelor party was in Nashville. So we went to Nashville, got a nice apartment Airbnb thing right downtown. Had a really cool dinner and a magic show. I know, we're nerds, but it was really cool. It was in the Johnny Cash Museum underneath the. It was underneath the Johnny Cash Museum as a little speakeasy. It was awesome. And then we went on a pub crawl in downtown Nashville, and we went to like 12 bars, and I could not get a fucking beer. Because everything was so crowded. And I don't carry cash because I'm an American in 2024. So what the fuck am I supposed to do? I go up to a bar and say, "Here, can I have a Yuengling?" And
Can I have a
give them my
Yuengling,
card.
please?
And like, no. So I had one beer, and I walked like 12 miles in my cowboy boots that I didn't know I was going to be walking in.
Oh,
But-
the blisters.
Anyway, it was fun still.
We went and got mani-pedis, and then we went to lunch, and then we came home and drank champagne and watched 27 Dresses, and our feet felt fine.
Maybe the Metalunans just moved to Memphis and no one ever hears from them again.
You know what?
But they still bitch about the housing prices.
There's The Metalunans moved to Montana, Wyoming,
And
and
start a
Idaho.
commune.
There's plenty of room. They just
No,
need to...
there's not. There's not enough. There's no.
I had my... And
Never mind, there's not
Hell,
room.
I had my flask.
Baseball
There's no
cap
more
I
room
saw
in
the other
Idaho.
day said it had a picture. It had the Idaho state map, and it said "We're full." It's true.
Yeah, Mahale, I had my flask, and that is the only reason I actually made it as far as I did. But my 8-ounce flask of Maker's Mark only goes so far.
That's fair. Meanwhile, he's out there trying to have a good time. I bought like 6 bottles of Prosecco. These bitches drank a bottle and a half.
And they were all done. They were all like, "Woo!"
A bottle and a half cumulative
Yeah.
for everybody.
Bottle and a half. That's just me. That's me like getting rolling, man.
Here's the problem. I was drinking with music and music and business majors. I'm used to drinking with English majors.
Yeah.
They're different. We're just built different.
Well, guys, I have a very important question to ask. And I'm going to throw it out to the whole group just because. Was Joe Don Baker in this movie?
I don't know.
Here's the twist. We remake This Island Earth. Joe Don Baker is the only human in the Muppet film, but he's playing Joe Don Baker.
That's interesting.
Everyone else is the original cast of This Island Earth, all the Muppets. But somehow, now it's like, what's his name? Raymond Burr. And just Joe Don Baker is there.
Oh, wait, so it's
like Godzilla.
So
He's
he's
just
kind of
watching everything happen.
Yeah. Just Joe Don Baker's like, oh, interesting.
All right, go ahead on over there. I'm gonna
Meacham
sit
does,
here.
like, Meacham
eat his-
Muppet does something, he's like, no, and then it's too late, and he's like, oh.
You go ahead on, I'll eat a steak.
You go ahead on. Yeah. That's the problem. They get away from him because he tells them to go ahead on and he'll catch up. Spaceship's already
doesn't
taken
catch
off.
up.
It's already gone. It's a spaceship. It's not waiting for Joe Don Baker. It should. American hero Joe Don Baker.
See, we think that it's Joe Don Baker as Cal Meacham, but really it's Mitchell as Cal Meacham. And they got there in plenty of time, but he was so pissed off at being kidnapped, he proceeded to kick everyone's ass.
What happened? Did the meteor bombardment destroy the world? No, this dude just started slamming everybody's heads in car doors.
See, the thing is, I can't buy Joe Don Baker as like a physicist, but I feel like he could punch his way into journals, and that's why he's like so revered. He just beat his shit way into like academia. So I buy it.
Well, how do you get this atomic pile to work the way it does? I hit it with a rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Build it with the dune buggy.
We got Joe Don Baker was definitely in the movie. He played the Zagon meteors, which makes sense because he has the necessary mass to induce nuclear fusion.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
so harsh.
That was harsh.
well, you can hear him like fucking Metalunans like playing their goddamn hippie music at 7 a.m. on a Saturday.
A 2x4 materializes out of nowhere.
We find out the whole thing is just a neighbor dispute. Like the Metalunans like, woo, and Trevor's like, fuck you.
That was hard.
Raging Hellfire.
First one.
We did that in the
We
first
did
one?
that. It was
Oh no.
This is the version of The Simpsons already did it, but we already did it.
All right.
It was a good idea.
That's a good idea.
I brought the thing up. What did I say to you earlier about the
Oh, yeah, you had a good idea about a splane. I'm like, yeah.
That's why you did that.
That's the one you
You
did.
already did it. Like, and he turned to me and he said, verbatim. I was like, oh no.
So we are going to move on, and we're going to figure out.
It was this. It was me complaining about how Cal says when he's talking to the journalist, I'm working on the reconversion of certain common elements into nuclear energy sources, and he's like, huh? And I'm like, that's not like a weird. That's not that hard to. It's not like science talk. Like. Joe's like, you already said that verbatim 3 years ago. And I was like, oh.
So, like, we're gonna move on to our riff MVP. We're gonna figure out who is the winner, but we're gonna do it a little bit different. We're gonna call this riff MVP Metaluna style.
Okay.
I was gonna try to do like a gang sign for Metaluna style. I don't know what it is.
This?
Yeah, something. So, what we're gonna do, because this could fucking go on for an hour and a half, just riffs. So, each of us is going to give our top two
Oh,
top
Lord.
two riffs from this film. Fuck. So, there might be a little dead air, folks, while we figure out.
Yeah, this is a lot.
I'll start with mine right away.
Go for it.
And it's a chain riff. Tom Servo going, "Are you cooking up there?" And Mike, "No." Are you making it in roster? No.
So, who's that one? That's
That is Mike and Servo, I believe. Are you guys cooking up there? No.
So my number one is Crow. Into the Weenie Mobile, Weenie Man away.
I think my favorite is when they've unpacked all the Interocitor parts. Mike's, "Joe, I'm in one of these boxes. Come find me."
Okay. I am saying the one that gets me every time because of the perfect delivery is during the whole waffle pastry bit. It's just Mike's hyperclinical yum every time.
It's golden. I like the blueberry ones.
I like the blueberry ones best. Fuck no, we can't do that. We got it. So my number two. Wait, did everyone give it number one?
Yeah.
I think we all went. Yeah. I think my number two is another Crow. It's, "Hey, keep it on the road. Where are the tubes back here?"
I said, whenever anyone's like swerving on the road, if I'm in the car, like, "Hey, keep it on the road. Where are the tubes back here?" I can't. This is so impossible, Joe. What have you done?
Mine is a Mike. "Let's slip away under the cover of afternoon in the biggest car in the county."
I think my second one is also a Mike. When they're in the tubes and Exeter is explaining that the handholds are magnetized, and Mike says, "And if your hands were metal, that would mean something."
And yes, Devery does identify with Dr. Airway very hard. May help. It's made a comment.
Oh, Dr. Ellie. Yes, I love that.
I don't know.
Ellie Arroway.
We need to figure out the chat thing better. Maybe instead of saying it, we should be responding in the chat. I don't know. What the right
No,
thing
you should
is.
be reading it out and responding to it, because that's part of what makes it live.
Offer void in Utah. Everything's void in Utah, even alcohol. What's the cap on alcohol in Utah?
3.5%.
3.5.
Try and get a beer in
In Salt Lake,
Utah.
geez.
It's not great.
All right,
I mean,
baby.
you have some good beers. But, Okay, this is hard because it's so early in the movie and it feels so wrong. But every time they're talking about the catalog,
No, sir. That's paper.
no, sir, that's paper. This is a paper. It's some kind of metal. It's no, sir, that's paper. What else we got? I'm your pilot, Claude Rains, and your co-pilot, Harvey the Rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah, man. What is the Servo's disclaimer at the end of the movie?
Like, return unused portion for a full refund. It's the end of the movie. Like, if unsatisfied with this film.
Oh, that's right.
Return unused portion. It's the end of the movie, so there's no...
All right. So, Jeff, did you give a second?
Yeah.
What was your... Okay.
Mine was the
All right.
biggest car in the county.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, we're gonna do it.
I'm so stressed.
We're gonna do a scientific poll, scientific vote here. We're gonna start with Mimi.
Both of mine were Mike's.
Excellent. All right.
Jesus, most of mine were Mike's.
Yours, both
Both of mine were Mike's.
Mike's. So we got 2 votes.
No, sorry, I had a Mike and a Crow. Never mind.
Well, who's your vote?
I'm still gonna say Crow.
Interesting. Jeff, what do you think?
The Amazing Rando. No, I'd probably go with Mike.
Mike.
Oh man,
Because I there's also good in this.
they're all so good. Okay, so my vote is for Crow.
A tie.
A tie, 2 and 2.
I think we just let it stand.
No, fuck that shit. We have never had a tie.
All right, so if I'm making a case for Crow, do I go through and read all my Crows now?
No, let's
Into the
let's see.
Weenie Mobile is Crow.
Let's see. So okay. I mean, we only have a few people participating in the chat right now, but so everyone in chat. Okay, Mihail is going for.
I think he's doing a Timmy. Timmy.
So chat. Who do you think? Who is your riff MVP? And I'll hum something while we're waiting.
I don't know, because I also like lean Mike because when he's searching through the drawer while he's talking to Joey, he's just, "Where's my gun?"
All right, Glitch says Crow. Silent Viewer says Crow.
You can't open up a poll and have Crow be an option.
Crow does have that line. She's hard on a cocktail dress.
Patricia goes with Crow. Adam goes with Mike. I mean, we have a limited number. But then again, it's just us friends.
Crow has Big Scahill and his big band. Crow has "Come on down to El Marie Ford, hot dogs and balloons for mom." Come on.
Also, Breach Hall all die. Have it underlined.
I mean, just so yeah. If you go back, if you use the host segments as a tiebreaker, I think Crow just dominates.
I think the chat has said it.
The chat has settled it for us. So
We're not even going to put an asterisk on it.
no,
Then we're decided. Gypsy wins.
Crow.
You're so good at it. Boys.
Crow T Robot is the reigning champion because Crow was also the riff MVP from our 100.
Really?
Crow's
100 episodes later, Crow still's dominating.
Well, this episode just shows like the mischief, the like.
Sort this, deliver that.
I'll make them all pay.
Okay.
Who says
And
Wilch?
did we mention last episode that the delivery guy was Coleman Francis?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Who says Wilt Chamberlain and I don't like you?
Chamberlain.
I mean, 'cause there's I don't like you.
I don't like him. I think that's Crow.
Yeah, and it's Crow says Wilt Chamberlain too. Now I'm thinking about Wilt Chamberlain.
Maybe episode 300 will have a different outcome. We'll see.
I mean, not if we pick this movie.
So guys,
Be like
what
Crow.
did we learn upon this viewing that we could pass along to others to nurture and foster a long-term relationship?
I'm going to tie into something we didn't really talk about in the episode, but I think it's important, which is the notion of because it means something to you, doesn't mean it means the same to someone else.
Okay.
Because we did watch a lot of fans of This Island Earth who were very hurt to set it up as MST3K the movie, even though the reason Trace and everyone said they chose it was because it was a good movie. Because they knew the movie could also, if you weren't into the riffing, the movie was decent.
But that
I thought they chose it because nothing happens in it.
they all said that they really liked it, and they liked it because it was beautiful and it was a beautiful cut. And the fans of this movie are just like, I watch because I saw a lot with like Joe Dante because he does a lot of horror documentaries too, and he was like, oh, we were very offended, and I was like, it's okay though. Like, it's okay.
Nerds!
So
I learned never go with a Metalunan to a second
location. Exactly.
absolutely.
No matter what they're pumping through those tubes.
Exactly.
I mean, it'll be tempting.
And I learned, and I'm going to steal this
Yeah.
from Silent Viewer. Always pretend not to remember someone that you've met before.
I think
I'm not going to say I haven't done that before because I have
I have
done that before.
I have resting agreement face. I can't do that because I'm like, because I don't want anyone to feel bad. I don't know.
Hey, you.
Exactly. I mean, I pulled it pretty brazenly in the first day of my Taylor Swift English Studies class. I was like, I taught you before. She's like, Shakespeare. And I was like, thank you. And we moved on with our lives. I was like, I know you.
So, Mihail's sharing a full body bong with someone creates a
That's fair.
truly strong bond.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to pull the driver over and say, look, this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Why do you need to go do this thing? Is this for you or is this for the other guy? Exeter, why do we need to go do this?
If we had that mentality, we wouldn't have, like, Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, though.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I love
Loves
those little
that
hamburgers.
I can't eat him anymore.
So
Yeah.
So Mihail's sharing full body bong. Just
yeah.
one more aside from me. And then
Okay.
I think I'm done for the night. So Mike's riff to that is like being inside a bong. So
One question. Should they feel worse that they got everyone else in that house killed? Because they were, those other scientists were eliminated because
they're pretty cozy
made an
at the
escape
end.
attempt.
They don't even seem a little
They
bit
don't even
traumatized when they come out of that plane. They're like, we lived, hooray. Everyone else, I'm so sorry.
Fuck those dozen other people. Those other heads of their study.
Hey, listen, you go to an academic conference, that's the vibe. Like, we got out. Everyone else is still there. You and me, we got out, though.
Fuck
so
them.
on the first time I saw this movie, and not even the first time, many viewings afterwards for a very long time, I heard Mike's riff as it's like being inside a bomb. Because I did not know what a bong was.
Oh,
Aww.
sweet,
Jello belt exennials.
sweet, naive,
What's that?
sheltered.
And then the
Teenage
phrase,
Mutant Ninja Turtles is on.
and then
Sweet little-
also the riff.
I gotta do Pog.
His when he does the riff. They wake and bake every day. I thought that was about waking up and using a tanning bed. I am not making any of this up. This is 100% true. I am very out of touch with drug culture.
So what you're saying is you did not grow up with my Uncle Chris.
Joe, is wearing jeans you having a wild side?
It is.
It's when he cuts loose, he wears his jeans.
Hang on.
He is wearing khakis as we record this podcast. He switched into a button down to record. He's like, you're not going to see me on screen in a polo. I said, Jeff's going to be wearing a t-shirt. And he was like, I don't care.
I am not seen in public without a collar. And by God, I'm not going to be on video
And at
in a
least-
fucking polo.
At least
And-
2 layers.
Mimi has provided me a wealth of novelty tees that literally no one gets to see because I don't go anywhere.
I've provided him with a wealth of novelty tees.
Yes, I wear them under my other shirts.
That kind of negates the whole novelty tee thing.
He knows it's
I
there.
know it's there. It's for me. It's not for them. I don't need to prove anything to these people. I'm wearing a Deadpool t-shirt. No one knows it but me.
The weirdest man you've ever met. I love him. Oh my God.
I would have to say no. I've met weirder.
Okay.
So guys, let's put this movie on our customer service review scale.
5.
5. Yeah, 5. This is amazing.
Rock solid.
I have it memorized, movie and riff, and I will still watch it. So perfect. So many things I quote. Like I said, we quote day to day. There, it's done. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yum. I do yum a lot especially when I'm home by myself and it's like toast. I'm like yum.
If I have a clipboard, I am obligated to spank myself with it.
Yes.
Chat. So yeah, Mihail puts it up 5 stars. Anyone else want to chime in? What do you guys think?
I'm looking for a fucking clipboard.
Special night.
Honey,
Oh,
I've got office supplies.
So I was listening to our our episode, the episode 100, the other day. I was driving around on my lunch break. I was catching Pokemans, and then Jeff says, "I think my penis is a plot by the GOP to kill homeless people," and I fucking covered my windshield with the water I was drinking.
I don't even remember that.
I have no idea what the context would be with that either.
Yeah, Chad is 100% in agreement. This is a 5-star episode all around. This is great.
No,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to figure out why Jeff said that.
He may not have even known we were recording. He just says stuff like that. That's
But-
Jeff.
The thing is, it's not weird.
It's not weird.
I just need to know the context.
So
Jeff said worse, that's for sure.
Oh,
That's
but-
fair.
Yeah. So let's move on. Jeff, who is your guy? I don't think we did. I don't remember.
We
doing
didn't
this.
do the guys back
Yeah.
then.
So who is your guy?
Race car scientist.
All right, baby. Who's your guy?
This is actually, I think you need to come back to me.
Okay, Mimi, who's your guy?
I'm Joe. I don't know, you guys. This is a bad idea.
I am 100%
Just-
Joe.
Let's not do this.
In fact,
Let's-
I think that was at the tail end of last episode when we were announcing we were going to do the live stream. Mimi's like, I think this is a bad idea.
I think I was too. So okay. I'm going to admit to a little bit of editorializing the episode that went live for our last one. So what you guys heard in the episode was about 45 second discussion about the live episode that we're doing right now. That went on for like 15 minutes. And
us? No.
man, there was some hemming and hawing, but I think I got the gist in there. But anyway, I was not on board until actually earlier this week. And then when I kind of got in my head, I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. This is going to work. So,
I would dare say he wasn't actually on board till you started chatting.
okay, that might be right.
Yeah, because then you're like, oh, there's interaction.
I've been so excited to have an audience.
Aw, Mihail says, he says, my guy is Joe. The fact that he's a scooter only cements it more.
I don't think he's talking about me. He's not talking about me, baby. He's talking about Joe from the.
Oh, Joe! Oh, I was like, but Joe is also a scooter. I was like, yeah, I get it.
My guys, other people need to use this ladder.
That's
you know?
fair.
Oh, I love that riff so much.
My guy is Exeter because he is doing the best he can to work within a system that is not built to let him do the things he needs to do, but he's also not enough of a rebel to try to break the system down.
Devery, are you saying you feel his middle management energy?
Listen, I'm just saying I'm the chair of the non-tenure track committee this year, and it's coming with some things that are happening.
All right. So we're going to do something else. We're going to do it live right this moment. It's time for your soulmates to play our favorite game. It's time for Misties Against Humanity. So What is our question for this episode?
The question is... Sorry.
You do it.
Sorry. I'm taking the helm on this one. What would have saved Metaluna?
Okay.
What could the humans have done that would have saved Metaluna?
Mihail, Nerdy Joe is not a clarification. He's wearing custom-made. He sent away for Dr. Forrester
This is my real prescription.
glasses. That's his real prescription.
I can't see without these.
Nerdy Joe is not a clarification that it's the Joe in the film. Because this is also,
I'm also-
a very nerdy Joe.
Do you want a rando?
Yes, thank you.
Ooh, an amazing rando.
He started typing that.
He started you said like what I said. Like, I know the chat's a couple seconds behind. Like, and I was like, wait, I was not specific enough. Other nerdy Joe. I'm like, yeah, because.
All right, so what could the humans have done to save Metaluna?
Ooh. Got some performance anxiety here.
They have pills for that.
What's the one you take, Devery? For anxiety?
Oh, Jesus. CBD, melatonin, inositol.
The new one.
Inositol.
Inositol. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I was hoping for that one.
Crystal meth.
I mean, they wouldn't care anymore.
So, yeah. Do they, like, launch it at Zagon, or do they just...
That's all the Zagons want. They're like, bitch, you owe me money.
Here's the thing, is this is where it gets really boring, because it turns into, like, a Discovery documentary about how the Zagons are in the Appalachian region giving out crystal meth. And it becomes, like, some sort of gritty thing. And I'm like, we're like, yeah.
Is that what the rocks they're flinging at Metaluna are?
Just smoke it. No, don't hide from it. Smoke it. Like, they're too big. You gotta throw them smaller.
Here, have some of this.
No, we just want to hang out in our tubes. No, rock! Rock it up!
So, this movie is about warring drug cultures.
Isn't every movie?
The Metalunans want to get high. The other guys are like, no, meth. You need
Meth.
uppers.
You know what? I truly feel like with their vibe, the Metalunans are like the low-dose LSD users. They're like tripping, but they're like more cerebral about it necessarily than...
Is there a low dose of LSD? I don't...
Oh, you can microdose LSD.
Okay.
I mean, it's difficult.
People do that for mental health.
Because actually having LSD that is properly dosed is
Yeah.
difficult on a street level.
Baby, you can microdose anything now. Do you want me to get you some ketamine?
No, thank you.
He says no.
I don't want to see you in a K-hole.
My booze don't need nobody.
I have caffeine in the morning and booze at night.
Next episode of Soulmates is hosted by Joe in a K-hole. See what happens.
Next episode of Soulmates, tripping balls.
Next episode. What's the next episode? My hand. How weird is my hand?
So I gave myself permission when I turned 40 that I would smoke. I would do marijuana at some point.
But okay, you call it doing marijuana?
I would do the marijuana.
But in true Xennial fashion, has anyone ever actually offered us drugs?
No.
We were all prepared for it to say no, but no one's ever actually offered us drugs.
I have to go to a shop in town and pay like $100 a month for it, and a very nice lady gives it to me in a little bag.
My drug journey started with, hey, we did this drug last week, and we did this drug last weekend. Can I have some?
I live near a schoolyard. I have lived near a schoolyard most of my life. No one has ever offered me free drugs.
I've wandered around the schoolyard looking for skeevy guys to be selling drugs to anybody, and then I realized I'm the skeevy guy wandering around the schoolyard, and I don't have any drugs.
It's the moral panic every year. Like when the kids go out for Halloween, they're putting marijuana gummies in there. Like, no, they're not. They're expensive. No one's trying to give them to your kids.
So anyway, the point I was making was that I gave myself permission because, like, you know, I Nancy Reagan got me.
Nancy, Mahale is going to be so mad at you in a second. He said, "I'm very high right now." And you're gonna throw Nancy Reagan into Mahale's high.
He knows her. But anyway, I'm 46 now, and 6 years on, no, I haven't been offered anything. But the other part, the other caveat was
it could be the T-shirt under the button-up.
People are like, this guy, he knows what I mean.
This guy does not drug.
Anyway, so the point I'm trying to make is...
Oh shit, here comes a cop.
What I wanted to do is when I do marijuana for the first time, I wanted it to be with Jeff.
Yes, that's true.
Aww.
And it has never happened. So
I told him the next time he has like a week's vacation because, major big box corporate whatever. I'm like, just take some of my CBD that's got like a hint of THC in it, like on your first day off, and just see what happens.
Yeah, I've never done that. Anyway, so
I think I fear Joe's insides matching his outsides. Because Joe is very chill, very calm, very managerial.
Silent viewer says,
we
chat.
don't know what's going on inside Joe, actually.
Silent viewer says, chat, if you're a cop, you have to tell us.
All right, so here's another thing that viewers live get to see behind the scenes. Guys, what are we gonna watch next?
Oh, goodness.
Already decided.
Oh, yeah?
I decided this like 2 years ago.
Okay, what's up?
Episode 201 is going to be Season 5, Episode 17, The Beginning of the End. Because it is literally the beginning of the end.
Are we tipping over?
We don't have a lot left. And digging into riff tracks, I mean, we can make it. We still have years of content ahead of us.
We might become a riff tracks only.
But we are running out of episodes. So it is the beginning of the end.
Okay.
Or the end of the beginning.
Oh, this is fun. We're getting suggestions. You can't, apparently, we got...
Apparently it's fuck Jeff night. 3 years ago, fuck you, buddy.
Sorry, some of the suggestions we're getting: Danger, Death Ray, The Apple, which I do want to do.
So the Apple is on my list.
Yes.
The Apple is going to happen soon. Jeff, what is your Season 5, Episode 1? What is that?
The beginning of the end.
Season 5, Episode 17, The Beginning of the End.
We're obligated to do the Apple at some point. Yeah.
I feel like we should do the Apple soon.
Well, and it was also a request. But so what episode is Season 5, Episode 17?
Season 5,
the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
That's why we keep saying the beginning of the end.
That's the name of the episode.
I have never heard this.
Joe, you don't need weed.
Yeah, he's good.
Exactly.
You don't need fucking weed.
I'm 46. I don't need weed.
I love how giggly
to
it
be
makes
fair,
me.
it is so benign.
It is.
Of a title.
Okay. I'll tell you, what it did for me the other night, that, literally, I took my CBD, good dose. We watched Twisters. Excellent. No notes, 0 notes. Especially
that soundtrack's a train wreck.
Yeah,
but that's
it wasn't. That was one of my complaints. Is it was the original had that weird eclectic, a little bit of everything 90s
Alison
radio.
Krauss,
Yeah,
Tori Amos.
That was one of my complaints. But other than that, I was like, yes. But we were watching it, and she goes home to her mother at the one point. Spoiler alert! And it popped out of my mouth. Mom, I got nadered. And then immediately popped out, I told you not to vote third party. And I literally couldn't watch the movie for another 10 minutes because my CBD kicked, and I just thought that I had made the joke of forever.
It was a good joke, baby.
So
a good joke. It's good.
But it was made by myself to myself. Like, it was a two-party joke with one person as the conduit. But that's what my CBD does for me. It just makes me like, God's hand comes down directly into my mouth to make me make nadered third-party jokes. And all I can say is bless you.
Well, everyone in chat, thank you for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed this little peek behind the curtain, albeit I think this went pretty fucking well.
Yeah.
We hope that you enjoyed the journey to Metaluna to see what they got going on there. And, the real fun is the friends that you have the bong tube along the way.
I'm waving at the chat.
Okay.
People are saying.
And we hope you will join us next time when we discuss Season 5, Episode 17,
You remember the title?
Beginning of the End.
Oh, thank you. I think you thought you were just saying a phrase.
I did!
Puts us all on a downer.
That's the Jeff experience. We're having
Thank
a good
you,
time.
writing in
And I'm like,
Kansas. Thank
this
you.
is going to be terrible tomorrow.
Enjoy Kansas. We have writing in Kansas.
Yeah.
Is
If you
In the
would like to reach out and touch your soulmate, you can
Don't.
find us on Facebook. We are Soulmates MST3K Podcast. If you would like to join the Literal Dozen in supporting your soulmate,
Baker's Dozen.
this Baker's Dozen now, but you know what? Literal Dozen just sort of rolls, so
The literal Baker's Dozen.
it's gonna stand for a while.
Better than the Baker's Pink dozen.
If you want to put your money where your ears are, you can.
That's why it's called the Baker's Dozen. It's Jodan Baker's Dozen. Because he gets one more.
If you would like to join Jodan
I believe
Baker's
that's two
Dozen,
more.
Baker's dozen is 2 dozen.
Jodan Baker's dozen.
then you can
No,
support
it's
us.
2 Baker's dozens.
You can
So it's
support us.
26 donuts.
You can support us on Patreon for a very modest fee, $3 a month, and you will make my day. You can
Baker's
find us-
Dozen is that bitch from Dynasty's worth of donuts.
You know what? Just find us on Patreon. You can figure it out. If you want to talk to us on X or Blue Sky, we're at Soulmates Pod. If you want to come to Reddit and do something there,
Yeah.
r/arcane jugs, 2 G's, 2 Z's.
I occasionally drop something that I find interesting.
Yeah, but
I propose things and then forget them.
I'm really proud of our website, soulmatesmst3k.com. If you would like to get the cocktails as soon as the episode goes up, you can get them right to your inbox. You can sign up to the cocktail blog. And we also have...
Called Cock Blogger.
It's not, but it might be now.
We already have Nip Recruiter. We can't have another one.
A cock blogger, I'm sure, is already taken. We're fine. Anyway...
And all the posts of like, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
we are...
Cockblogger.com.
So we are so far off the rails here.
We're exactly on our rails.
This is
Let's not lie.
pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Everybody, please join us next time. I'm Joe Kimbrough.
I'm Cock Blogger.
Blogger.
I
Mom.
did that. I did that so he has to keep it in.
We're live.
Now
We're
it
live.
won't-
It's already out there.
Now it won't make sense if he tries to edit around it.
I'm Mimi.
And I'm so glad that I'm going to be getting off camera because I'm still really itchy.
And we are your soulmates.
Push the button, Joe.
Thank you, everyone who came into the chat.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
All
Thank you,
like 4 of you.
everyone. Thank you for watching me fidget.
And you actually get to see us.
This is what it is.
This is what we do.
Here we have our podcast.
We stopped.
Winning her way to.
I guess we needed a stinger, so you know what? This is good.
Silver and gold.